Sopranos boss Johnny Sacrimoni, of course, himself, actor Vincent Curatola, joins us now. So what do you think was going on behind closed doors?
Are you saying that I was connected with something nefarious?
We're not saying it. We're not saying it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're not saying it.
This stuff happens all the time. Guys get together and they say, listen, you're going to make X amount of dollars. I'm going to sell this. You're going to buy it at that price. And at the end of the day, we're all going to be rich and everybody else is going to be poor. And who cares? We made it to the top.
All right, so what is the
manipulation?
But what is the message to the public about these sit-downs?
What's the message to the public about? Well, if they're going to go through every trade because of what happened last Friday, minute by minute and trade by trade, I'd like to have the coffee concession because that's about all that's going to come out of this. Is a bunch of guys going to sit around and get fatter and stupider.
But the point is, with a sit-down,
yeah,
you're trying to intimidate somebody. I mean, maybe they're not doing what you guys would do with the Sopranos.
How do we know that? We don't know that.
That's true. We don't know that. But at the very least, they have some regulatory power. They can say, look, we're going to look through, we're going to audit everything you have. We're going to cost you billions of dollars in auditing and legal fees if you don't do what we want you.
Well, you know what? I have a theory, especially on what happened last Friday. For some strange reason, at around 2:30ish, the bottom dropped out. Doesn't usually drop out like 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. I have a feeling there was some kind of a little syndicate there. Either guys that wore pinky rings, or guys that had those things around their heads. One of those two groups.
Or the big white collars that are kind of creepy with the cuffs, right?
Yes, you shoot the cuffs.
But, you know, there's this, talk about conspiracy theories that, you know, Wall Street doesn't like financial reform, so we're going to sick the machines on the market and let the machines do the trade even more. We're going to hit some buttons.
Ooh.
Have you heard that one?
Well, yeah, I've heard that one, but we have machines in Washington now. I mean, you have a president who's a machine. He thinks that everything gets solved by him going on television early every morning. And I want him to stay home because every time I watch the market open and he happens to be talking, my stuff goes down. I'm aggravated.
That's right.
All right.
That's a machine.
Vince, stick around. Let's bring our bulls and bears into the discussion. Gary, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think David hit the nail on the head with one key word, and that's intimidation. You know, you get the feeling that whether it was when they hauled the auto execs in front of Congress, or whether it was Goldman Sachs, or whether it's going to be with the exchanges, that they're not looking to forge some kind of resolution. It's not like, you know, a good manager-employee relationship. You sit down and say, hey, we have a problem. Let's work together to solve this. It's like all political, all a beat down, all, hey, I'm going to show you, you know, who's the boss here. And, you know, and Vincent summed it up. Nothing gets resolved. A lot of coffee is drank, and then they, you know, everyone goes off and tries to do the best they can.
But, Pat, you know, bottom line is government is always using intimidation, one form or another, aren't they?
Well, you know, if the current theory about how the Thursday's events really unfolded with the fact that the NYSE was not well linked in with a lot of the electronic networks, and so then they slowed down trading and the other networks did not, if that really is what caused this, and that the self-regulation of the industry didn't have the brains to say, gosh, we're all trading the same securities. Perhaps we should have the same rules. Then I think it actually kind of behooves the regulators to step in and say, you ought to do that.
You know, Mike Norman, Pat brings up a good point. You know, the regulators are there to put up the guardrails. You can't have the free market turn into a free-for-all.
You can't. And look, I don't know what happened, and maybe we'll find out, but I can tell you this. I've been a trader a long time. I've spent over 10 years on 4 different exchanges on the floor. I saw a lot go on, and you don't even have to have my history to see that it continues to go on. We see this happening in the CDS market. We see it constantly, you know, decade after decade when you have insider trading, front running. You know, maybe it was a glitch. Maybe it was a technical glitch, but look, this stuff goes on. There is manipulation that goes on, and Liz, to your point, the regulators were kind of like out to lunch for a long time, and it's time, you know, we bring the cop back on the beat because the little guy's not going to want to play anymore.
From what Mike's saying, it sounds like there's more honor among the mob than there is in Wall Street.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, these people, whoever they are, they're playing with people's savings, people's futures as far as 401ks or whatever. I don't think that you should be able to instantaneously trade currency. I'm sorry. I mean, I believe in the free market system. I believe in capitalism to the point where it helps people who need help. But I don't believe that you should be able to play with. And Greece, I mean, what's Greece doing in this game anyway? Seriously, there's no money there. Why are they playing? Why are they borrowing money now? They're going to borrow money at 13, 14%. How are they going to pay this back? With what?
How are they going to pay it back? And does it encourage them to do more of the bad stuff now that they got their pockets filled?
They shouldn't be in the game. Sorry.
Well, you're for capitalism, right, Vincent?
Yes, I am.
Well, we've got some other people who are for capitalism.
Okay.
People who made money today.
Oh!